everybody.
Hi,
How's
guys.
it going? Tiff and I are here. We're going to go over the back extension. You guys are very familiar with this. We go over it all the time. We incorporate it in our workouts all the time. For me, with all my years of working with adaptive athletes, I find the back extension movement, the seated back extension movement, really beneficial, and it translates to everyday life, things that you do at home, such as picking up things off the ground. If you lose balance, you have to be able to sit yourself back up, especially if you're by yourself, okay? So Tiff is going to show you a simple seated back extension. Now keep in mind, Tiff has a good core, good strong midsection, so she doesn't need her hands to bend forward. So if you just want to show simple. Yep, so pretend she's in her wheelchair also, but today we're going to use a bench, okay? So she has her hands crossed here, and she can lean forward and sit back. Again, she has a strong core, okay? Now, for those that have a weaker core, such as spinal cord injury, individuals, I start out a small range of motion, okay? So let me see if I can turn Tiff sideways. Oh, that's good, okay. All right, so for beginners, if I'm meeting somebody, especially a spinal cord injury individual, I like to see their range of motion, how far they can lean forward, if they need to use their hands on their laps, whatever they do to get themselves back up. So when I meet somebody, I check out their range of motion. So for the spinal cord injury individuals, or even those that don't have spinal cord injuries, I've worked with people with CP that have core function, but it's weaker, or they have a weaker back muscles, so we work on that forward and back motion. So we'll start out light and say Tiff will go just a little bit forward, and that's it. Then she's going to sit back, okay? So now a tip I use for individuals that have a higher level of spinal cord injury, they have their hands down here by their side, okay? So when they lean forward, they go as far as they can, and then they're going to swing their arms back and their head back, okay? And they'll hit the backrest. So say she goes like 2 inches, that's as far as she can go. She's gonna bring her arms back and the head back as momentum, okay? So that's for one way to start with somebody. Also, you can use a band. It adds resistance. You could either hold it if you're helping the individual, or tie it up against something that's sturdy and stable. But if I about that. So again, you can use a band to help sit back up. So again, you tie this band, I can hold it, or you can tie it to a post or a rack or something that's stable. Good, so she'll go as far as she can, so say she's almost gonna go to her lap, and the band's gonna help her sit back. Good. So again, there are different band widths and thickness. So the bigger bands and thicker bands have more resistance. So for those that are beginning, you want to start out with a thicker, bigger band if you do utilize a band, okay? This is a lot easier for them to use to work on the back extension. And keep in mind too, guys, when you start a movement that's brand new, especially for trainers, new trainers, especially with adaptive athletes, you want to figure out a way that they can do movement that's successful for them too, okay? So if I have a new athlete and they're starting out and they're just learning back extensions, I'm not gonna have them go all the way forward and then not be able to get back up, and I have them do that 20 times. So then they're failing 20 times, okay? So you don't want to start out big, you wanna start out small. So if it's that 1 inch, then it's that 1 inch, okay? And then it takes consistency, time, and a lot of reps to get better, okay? I've seen it happen all the time. I have an individual who is a C6, so his level is higher, and when we first met, he could not do a back extension at all, okay? And he was very wobbly and unstable, and he could tip over sideways. But then after a couple months, he can actually come forward a little bit more and then use his hands to sit back, okay? And then now, after probably a year or two, he can come forward, pick up something off the ground, and sit back up, okay? So again, you want to work out small, so if tip goes sideways. So say the first month, tip is only going a couple inches forward, swing those arms back, good. And then you want to work on going even further, okay? And as a trainer, you should be able to figure out how far they can go, okay? And say when I'm working with somebody, I'll put my hand out here, and they have to touch my hand and then sit back, okay? So then they have a target to reach for. Sometimes if you don't have a target, that client will shorten their range of motion because they're nervous and mentally they don't think they can do it. But if they have a target to reach for, then they're more likely to hit that target than not, okay? So, again, that's for athletes and for coaches too. It does help if you create a target for them to aim for and then sit back, okay? But achievable target, that's what we want. Now, we showed how you can come forward and then use your hands as momentum and bring your head back, okay? These are called cues. Some people react differently to different cues. So some people will understand if I say, hey, swing your arms back. Or I say, hey, bring your head up toward the ceiling and bring your head back, okay? Everyone's different, so you have to find out what works for you. If you're a coach, you have to find out what your person understands, your client understands, okay? If they understand the arm swings, they understand the arm swings. Some people are more detailed and need more instructions, so you have to figure out what works for that person to create that teamwork, okay? Now, another version, especially spinal cord injuries again, they're going to come all the way down, and they don't have the core stability to lower themselves all the way down, so they kind of plop onto their lap. Now she's going to use her hands, put them on their lap, and then push her way up, okay? That's another beneficial movement that I like to incorporate in their exercises, because it's also working the triceps, their shoulders, and that push motion. Again, if they're at home by themselves and they lose balance and they're in that position right here, how are you going to get yourself up, okay? Because I have no phone by me or whatever, so I need to push myself up. Now, some people don't have that strength with their wrists, okay? So some people have to go on their forearms and push themselves up. Or one arm might be stronger, so they might use one arm more to push themselves up. Everyone is different. You might have the same spinal cord injury on the textbook, but I've learned that each individual is different in different ways, okay? So each person can get up in different ways. Each person is stronger. Different side is stronger. Their wrist is stronger, forearms, shoulders, whatever. Everyone's different. So as a coach and as an athlete, you have to figure out what works for that specific individual, not for that main group, okay? If you understand what that means. Okay, so again, she's gonna come down to the floor. Now she's gonna go back on her hands and push up. Good. So this is a really good exercise I would really incorporate, especially for spinal cord injury individuals. Plus, it gets them comfortable being in that position. Obviously, if they're new to their injury, you want to work your way down, because a lot of times they can get lightheaded and they can pass out if they lean over too much, okay? So you have to, again, work your way small and then work that range of motion, all right? And then this translates to picking up something from the ground. So we have a kettlebell in front of us. So Tiff has that strength. She can sit back and bring that kettlebell to her lap, okay? Now, when you guys bring the kettlebell to your lap, go ahead, bring it down. Can you go sideways? Turn, yeah, sideways. So when you have an object in front of you, you'll see how her knees are right there. So when you're in a wheelchair, your knees tend to get in the way, right? So when you pick up an object, you want to bring that as close as you can to your body, okay? Just like with an able-bodied person, you keep that bar or that object nice and close. You want to keep that object as close as you can to your body. Some people scooch it up against their shin and then they bring it to their lap, okay? Good. So keep that in mind. So you don't want to lift something that's too far out, because then you can, kind of like a front raise, because then you can hurt your shoulder and hurt your back. So keep that in mind. When you are picking up something, keep it nice and close. Some people have it in between their legs and pick it up, okay? And then I think that's about it, guys. So just keep in mind when you guys pick up something, and even it could be something light as the phone or a pencil. Just be aware of your body, where it is. Be aware of your surroundings too. If you have a table next to you that can help you get up, utilize that table. But the back extension, I feel like, is one of the best movements to work on. It's one of the basic movements. So for coaches, for athletes, I would definitely work on these. And it's simple to work at home too, okay? So if, say, we're in front of a kitchen table, all right? Now I'm gonna lean forward into that table, but I'm gonna go as far as I can. I'm gonna grab onto the table and push myself back up, okay? You can do that behind the couch, like I've seen some people do push-ups on the couch. Just have something in front of you that's there for safety, so when you can't go any further, you use your hands to push yourself back up, all right? So I think that's it for the back extensions. Again, really beneficial because it leads to being able to pick up something from the ground, which leads to being more independent, which is our main goal, right? Okay. So, do you have any extra?
No, you said it all. No, that's really important. Just to reiterate one more time, it's just not about the overall fitness and gaining strength. It is functional fitness. All these things that Steph shares with you and works on with you really relates to real life. So if you're somebody who says you're really not into working out or going to the gym, these are some of the important movements you should be working on just to make you more independent, because there's going to be many times in your life where you need to reach something that's lower, whether it be at the grocery store, in your own home. It could be picking up your child, the dog food. There's so many different times during the day that I know when I'm in my wheelchair, I'm using that movement. So it's really important to maintain your independence. So.
Yep, it's really important to know the correct form or way of picking up something. This is for able-bodied or not able-bodied. Even simply picking up something that's 5 pounds off the floor, if you pick it up improperly, you can really hurt yourself. Especially the older you get, you can like pull a muscle and then you're out for a couple weeks. So all these exercises, the functional movements, it translates to everyday life, but it also teaches you your body awareness of what you're doing, how you have to position yourself. In your wheelchair, I can't imagine, because you have to position yourself to a way where you're not going to tip forward.
Right, I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
It's also really important because it helps you work on your balance. So when you're doing it in your chair, it's even better because of that exact reason. Depending on how your chair is set up and where your center of gravity is, some people's chairs are set to be a little more tippy for different comfort levels and reasons. So you really got to know, I can go all the way down. Sometimes in my wheelchair I may not, because I know if I lean too far forward, my weight is going forward, and the way my chair is set up, I can tip. So I know I stop, or sometimes I may lean to the side a little bit, just to prevent a fall totally out of the chair.
Yeah, and we don't want that.
No.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming on. Hopefully this helps. Let us know if you have any questions, or if you want to work on your back extension at home, but you don't know how to start, or you don't know how to progress, then please reach out to us and let us know. This is a very easy movement to do at home, outside, anywhere. So, but it's a really beneficial, and it's a really functional, really great functional movement that you use every day that you don't even realize it.
Right.
Like transferring, we bend over when you transfer a little bit to bend over. Getting into bed, I'm sure you bend over. Getting onto the toilet, getting down onto the ground, okay, picking stuff up. You use that back extension movement all the time. You don't even realize how much you use it. So it's a really good thing to practice and get stronger. Okay. All right, guys. Well, have a good day, and we'll see you later.